Morning and welcome to Pardon the Interruption. I'm your host, Ian Patrigo, alongside Michael Mirsky and Brad Romano. We will be heading to a so-called underwhelming conference in the NFC South, who consists of the Bucks, the Panthers, the Falcons, and the Saints. And one of them's got to come out on top. Michael, who are you going to take here?
Give me the Carolina Panthers. They drafted Bryce Young first overall. They made a lot of offseason moves that is going to set their team up really well, both offensively and defensively. They got rid of DJ Moore in order to get Bryce Young. So what do? They brought in DJ Chark. They brought in DJ Chark. They brought in Adam Thielen, Miles Sanders to run the ball. Chuba Hubbard's still there as well. On the offensive line, they still got Bradley Bozeman, first-round pick from NC State last year. Ikem Ekwonu. And defensively, added Von Bell, one of the top safeties in the NFL from the Bengals. They also drafted Jamie Robinson from Florida State in the fifth round, who I thought was more like a second-round pick. Big steal there. Also, Jonathan Mingo, receiver from Ole Miss, they took in the second or the third round. The Panthers, the thing I like about them the most is that they have the fourth easiest schedule in the NFL. You go down the line, it's mid-team after mid-team after mid-team. They're all average. I think the Panthers could get a lot of wins this season, and I think the Panthers will win the NFC South.
Brad, who are you going to take here?
Yeah, I'm going to have to disagree there. I'm going to go with the Atlanta Falcons. So let's take a look at offense first. The big question with the Atlanta Falcons is Desmond Ridder. No one really thinks he's going to play well, and people are going to think that he's the downfall of the Atlanta Falcons. But I think Ridder just has to be serviceable at best because if you look at the offense around him, it's very solid. First of all, let's look at the run game. Bijan Robinson, a rookie coming into this year, has all the hype around him. It's totally deserves a freakishly athletic running back who has receiving-like hands and is absolutely insane in the run game. You also have Tyler Allgeier and Cordell Patterson as the running back 2 and 3. All three of those guys, I think, can make up the best running back core in the league. Then you have the receiving core. Drake London could potentially have a breakout year, great in separation. Then two new additions like Scotty Miller and Nico Collins. Offensive lineman, Chris Lindstrom, absolute beast. And then you look at defense, especially one of the best signings this season, in my opinion, Jesse Bates, one of the best safeties in the league. Now you add him to the Falcons secondary along with A.J. Terrell. I think all the additions that the Atlanta Falcons made to their team can really help them take the next step.
Yeah, but the Falcons, one of the biggest additions is also like Calais Campbell. I mean, he's supposed to be like the anchor of that front seven. Campbell's 36 years old. Calais Campbell, he's closer to my parents' age than mine. He's less than 10 years younger than my parents.
You're forgetting someone really big, Grady Jarrett. Grady Jarrett's been a very solid, in my opinion, under the radar defensive lineman. I don't think he gets the credit he deserves usually. But Grady Jarrett is an absolute freaking nature, especially a great run stopper. So I think he could be a very great addition. And Calais Campbell can bring that veteran presence. Yeah, he's very old. But if you pair him with Grady Jarrett, I think it can make a good duo in the pass rush.
You also talked about your secondary.
Mm-hmm.
Give me a minute here. Talked about your secondary with A.J. Terrell and Jesse Bates. Von Bell was teammates with Jesse Bates. Now he's in Carolina. I think J.C. Horn, the corner for the Panthers, is better than A.J. Terrell. I mean, I think last year proved that coming from South Carolina a couple years ago in that same draft as Pat Surtain. He is arguably a top 5 corner in the NFL. I think the Panthers secondary is really good.
I think J.C. Horn's a great corner, but I think as a whole, I think the Falcons secondary is better because you pairing Jesse Bates, which is one of the best safeties, if not the best safeties in the league, with A.J. Terrell, who in my opinion is a top 10 corner. In my opinion, I just think the Panthers are way too unproven, especially on offense. You have a rookie quarterback, Bryce Young. You have receivers, in my opinion. I've never been too high on Miles Sanders. There's a lot of question marks around that offense for me, and I don't see the Panthers taking that next step just yet.
Brad, I don't think we should be talking about receivers. Drake London is not very good, and he is the best on the entire Falcons.
You think Adam Thielen's really that good? You know, Adam Thielen's a little older.
Better than London, so is Chark.
I don't think so.
Wait, you guys are forgetting one key fact. What about the coaching?
I think Arthur Smith is a very good coach. He's been a very under-the-radar coach for a while. I mean, the fact that the Falcons were able to get to 7 wins last season with that roster with Mariota at QB is very impressive. Now that he has a much better roster around him, especially in the running back core, like I said, and new additions on defense, I think Arthur Smith can really improve.
Frank Reich's a pretty good coach. I mean, he's been in the NFL for a long time. He was with the Eagles when they won the Super Bowl. He was with Phillip Rivers and the Colts when they went to the playoffs. And they put up a good fight against Buffalo in the playoffs. They went into Buffalo, put up a good fight against them. Frank Reich was super excited when he got the job from the Panthers. Was pumped when he got the first overall pick. Big fan of Bryce Young. He's a quarterback guy. He's an offensive guy. He should be able to develop Bryce Young better than maybe any other coach in the NFL.
That is true. Frank Reich's a very good coach, but I think, like I said, I think there's just way too many question marks on that Panthers offense. I'm also forgetting someone actually on the Falcons offense, and that is someone that hasn't been utilized right, but I think if he gets utilized right, he can be an absolute freak of nature, and that's Kyle Pitts. Kyle Pitts one of the best receiving tight ends in the league. He had 1,000 yards in his rookie receiving season. As a tight end, that's something we haven't seen in forever. Kyle Pitts was very mediocre last year, but I don't think that was his fault. I think that was all coaching. If Kyle Pitts can be used right, freak of nature.
The Panthers actually got a pretty good tight end too. Former Raven, former Cincinnati Bengal, and Falcon. Hayden Hurst now on the Panthers. He should be pretty good.
Michael, so Brad had very high hopes for Desmond Ridder. How do you feel about Bryce Young going in his first year?
I think Bryce Young's gonna be really good, much better than Desmond Ridder. I don't think Ridder's really good.
I mean, yeah, like I said, I don't think Ridder's going to be this amazing quarterback. I just think he has to be serviceable at best with the talent around him.
And so, one of these teams is going to have to win the division, and you both had great arguments. I believe anyone has a chance, and that's going to end it here on Pardon the Interruption.